So I think, many of you know my story in terms of, I started Beachbody. I was really dedicated for 5 months, fell completely off track. I was gone out of the picture for another 5, 6, 7 months. I'm not sure. And then I felt very inspired by a coach. She wasn't actually my coach. She was a different someone else's coach, but I asked to sign up with her. So I did switch coaches, and I will tell you, it's just partly she was motivating for me, inspiring. She was just, I felt her vibe, and she was just someone who was good for me. So I will always tell you that it is okay if you want to switch coaches. It's okay if you want to take a break. And I think I don't say that enough. And I think there are times where people say, like I like you as a person, Alicia, but you're just not doing it for me. That's totally fine. I won't take offense. So just let me know. We can be open. We can be transparent. But part of it wasn't just switching coaches that helped me, I think, get into wellness for the long haul. I've been doing it pretty consistently with maybe a couple of week breaks here and there for the last year and a half. It's January 2022 right now, and yeah, it's been about a year and a half, maybe a little longer. But I think, like, one of our coaches, Coach Katie, she coaches Team Freedom Fitness. She talks a lot about sorry, I'm fumbling for my words, but she talks a lot about personal development. And actually, Coach Shar from Team Beautiful Fitness Souls also does. Personal development, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, there's something about it that changes your mindset. And so if you're really struggling, I would say don't start with fitness and nutrition. Start with personal development. That might be that you listen to a YouTube video that's really inspiring once a day, 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. It might mean that you buy a book that's really inspiring for you. It might mean you listen to podcasts. And we all have different tastes and we all have different preferences. So you got to find what works for you. But I can definitely give you some suggestions. So personal development is a good place to start if you're struggling. I read a book called The Power of Habit. I think Charles Ludwig was the author. And the book kind of seemed a little repetitive. It kept sort of repeating the same things over and over, but it drilled home for me that habits, and I had already been listening to Coach Shar and Coach Katie talking about the power of habits as well. And so I started thinking, like, how can I make it a habit? Because motivation alone doesn't keep you going. At some point, you're going to get tired of it. So now this year, I just finished reading. I'm actually listening because I prefer Audible books, but I listened to a book called Atomic Habits, and it's by James Clear. Anyway, the first thing he says in that book is to figure out how you want to identify. So a lot of times, I'm just going to share. So I used to identify as somebody. So how you describe yourself is what they mean when they say how you identify. But I used to describe myself as someone who was lazy, slow, unmotivated, scatterbrained, a night owl. I was a bookworm. I was kind of a nerd. Like I wasn't into fitness. I was a couch potato. Oh yeah, I had so anyway, if I say those things about myself and that's how I believe I describe myself, I'm going to keep on doing things that will fulfill that identity. So if you want to change your habits, he actually suggests the number one thing you need to do is change how you want to identify. And so now I've done little changes in my habits over the years because I've been doing personal development for years and years. I love it. But I now identify myself as someone who's efficient, motivated. I get things done. I do take rest periods. I don't call that lazy though. I call it self-care. I am purposeful. I am early to bed. That new habit just started. I'm having the goal of being an early riser. And now I identify myself as someone who enjoys fitness, someone who feels healthy, someone who feels fit. And so then what you do is, just to take the wellness or health identity, you kind of ask yourself, okay, I identify as someone who's fit and healthy. Every decision you make, you say to yourself, what would someone who's healthy and fit do? And it will help you decide. And you're not always going to make the decision that someone who's healthy or fit does, but every time you make a decision that sort of confirms that identity, it's a vote for, hey, I am fit, I am healthy, and you start to believe that about yourself. So start with your identity. I went a little over 5 minutes. I am sorry, but that is step one to building a habit.